Yo, peace and blessings. Coming back with another video. Today I want to talk about boundaries versus bondage. And when it comes to any type of relationship you have with others or your significant other, you definitely want to have boundaries. You know, it's good to have boundaries. Um, just so y'all can have that respect level there, that loyalty there, which I don't like, your dislikes, just so y'all could be on the same page about things, so you can know what lines not to cross. And like I said, keep that respect there, keep the honor at a high level of each other, how y'all see each other, how y'all treat each other in that whole dynamic, whether it's a friendship, a relationship, or whatever other type of relationship it is that you have with somebody or others. You always want to keep those boundaries. And it's not about seeing it as rules, like you putting rules on somebody in a relationship, because that's not what it is. It's just setting it straight and letting people know, like, hey, these are certain things that I don't like, or I like to be respected and treated as such, and you're gonna get that same treatment in return as long as I get that back. And whatever it is, when it comes to certain stuff about their personal business that they open up to you about, or when it comes to that whole relationship dynamic, friendship, and other relationships, when it comes to those things, you just want to have those boundaries, and it has nothing to do with rules. But when it comes to the word bondage, it's a difference. You don't want to confuse the two. When it comes to your relationship dynamic with others, you don't want to confuse boundaries and bondage. Like I said, some people think the boundaries is like rules, like you putting it like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, yeah, of course you want to have respect level in your relationship. Like, yeah, you shouldn't do certain things that's going to disrespect each other, but it's not about rules. That's just boundaries. You're going to have boundaries in life, period. So just so people could know how to treat you and respect you. But it's not bondage. Bondage is you keeping somebody else there, or y'all both staying there, and y'all know y'all unhappy. Y'all both keeping yourselves in bondage, staying somewhere where it's unhealthy for the both of y'all. Or it could just be one person keeping themselves there and they know it's unhealthy for them, and they're just not leaving because a lot of times we don't like change. And if we put a lot of time, effort, and energy into somebody or something, we just continue to do it even though we know it's not good for us, so it's unhealthy. And we don't want to give that up because of all the time, effort, and years and energy that we put into that person or that thing. And as people, we don't like to give all that up and then start over, look for somebody else, go through that whole process of meeting the person, learning about them, getting to know them, um, making sure you're on the same page with a lot of things, not just each other, or careers or how y'all see life, but relationship stuff as well. If y'all want children, if y'all want marriage or whatever else y'all looking for in life, that's a lot. And especially when it comes to trusting somebody else, that takes a lot too. So we don't like to go through that process again. And a lot of times we make the mistake and stay somewhere because of the years and the time and the energy we put into that person. And it's very unhealthy for us. And that's creating the bondage for you. Or like I said, about you don't want to confuse the boundaries with rules. Another way of bondage where that's could be like rules is if somebody is threatening you to stay with them or abusing you to stay with them. Like, oh, you ain't ish without me, or you ain't never gonna be ish without me, or you need me, or um if you leave me, I'm gonna defame your name, or expose you for this, or or whatever it is, or you gotta be here at a certain time, or I'm gonna do this to you. Like, that's the bondage. That's the rules. That's stuff where it's like, yo, you trying to own the person, or you trying to do things out of fear now, or basically going beyond threats, and now you're putting your hands on them to keep them there, or because you fear that you know they deserve better or they should get better, and you're not living up to whatever that is for them, and you fear that instead of letting them go and letting them just be with somebody else that will give them what they're looking for, and you just accepting that whether you like it or not. That person will rather abuse them than letting them go and just deal with that pain of having to let them go to find something better or something that's up their alley, more of their match. So that's like rules when it comes to that relationship dynamic with others or someone significant or friendship. So the boundaries, you don't want to confuse that as rules, but when it comes to bondage, that's like a form of now trying to put rules in the relationship dynamic and the friendship dynamic. Because now you're trying to control the person. Now you're trying to threaten them, put fear in them. Or like I said, some people go beyond the threats and abuse them. Like, if you hang out with that person, then you're not my friend. Or, you got to do this and all that to be my friend. Or you got to be, whatever it is that the person is trying to come up with to threaten you or keep you in bondage, and it's something that's not even healthy. Like I said, it's different if it's somebody that's talking crazy about you and the person is hanging around them and they know that and they still hanging out with them. That's different. But if it's just like they just don't like them or for whatever reason, but you cool with them or whatever, and you been knew them, you know what I'm saying? They saying, oh, we can't be cool if you hanging out with them. And it's like, if I knew them before you, and they ain't worried about you whenever I'm around and they ain't talking about you, and I ain't talking about you, it shouldn't be no issue. You should know that I ain't even gonna do that to you. You know what I'm saying? But if it got to be a dynamic like that, where if I hang with this person, even though I already knew them way before you, if that's the case, then we shouldn't do that dynamic, because that's unhealthy. That's now creating a bondage type relationship. We're not even having a boundary type of relationship, a true relationship that's built on morals, values, and principles, and respect and honor and integrity that we treat each other with. So you don't never want to confuse the two or look at boundaries as like, oh, that's rules in the friendship or the relationship and stuff. No, it's deals with respect and honor and loyalty and integrity, and treating each other with high honor, honoring that relationship, that dynamic. And you don't want to confuse that. But when it comes to bondage, yes, that will bring up the issue of now setting rules in the dynamic. So I just want to leave y'all with that message. Keep doing your thing, keep being you, and to the next video, peace.